So an IT professional can have many job titles, okay? And there are hundreds possible. Here is a short list, okay? So maybe the one you are aiming for is in the list. Maybe it's not yet there. But the most exciting thing is that maybe the job title you will get has not even been created yet. Okay? Think about the tablet. 5 years ago, it didn't exist. So you couldn't be a tablet programmer. What will happen in 3 years' time, no one knows. Okay? So IT toolbox thinking is trying to understand what is behind electronic systems. Okay? So a simple question, you are using your iPhone and you are using some kind of application such as Google Maps, and you can see yourself on the map. How does your mobile phone do that?
GPS.
Yeah, using the GPS. You know what the GPS is?
Global positioning system.
It's?
Global positioning system.
Yeah. In practice?
Using satellites.
Yeah. So you have.
They use 3 satellites to triangulate your position.
Yeah. So you have a bunch of satellites floating around, and using 3 of them, they are able to tell you where you are on planet Earth. Okay. Any idea about the accuracy of this system?
Very.
It depends.
Yeah, it depends, but roughly. Is it 1 kilometer, 100 meters, 10 meters, 1 meter, 1 centimeter?
A few meters, tens of meters, I think.
Yeah, yeah, 10 meters, 5–10 meters is a good guess, depending where you are, but that's the kind of accuracy you are getting from GPS. Okay, so it's important to understand where it's coming from. Okay, and but you know, there is Google who is saying that is offering a driverless car. What accuracy do you need for that?
A few millimeters.
That has to be accurate.
Yeah. So you need to know where you are within, let's say, 1 centimeter. Yeah. Of the car, an error of 1 centimeter should be okay. Okay, you are not trying to be within 1 centimeter of the other car. When you are driving, you try to leave half a meter. Yeah. So you need, let's say, centimeter accuracy. Okay. And there are techniques which allow you to do that. Okay, because triangulation done for GPS are not that accurate, and they can be corrected. Moreover, Google is using a system of radars on their car, so they get some information from other sources. Okay, so all these things you need to keep them in your mind. Okay, when you see something, try to go beyond. Okay, how did they do that? It's not magic. There is no magic. Okay, just science. So, and also when you see something which is cool, okay, you are surfing, browsing the net, using apps, and sometimes there's something really cool, you know. You would like to have that as well. You would like to create an app using that functionality. You would like to build your website and use that stuff because it's really nice, okay? So you want to go behind the scene, look at how do they do that? Can I integrate that in my app, my website? Okay, so it's a world of permanent revolution, and I've stopped in 2010. I've mentioned Hello, okay, which is 2014, but what are the latest trends today? Okay, we cannot predict the future, but we can analyze what is going on, and maybe have some ideas about what is going to be big, what is already big and growing, okay, to know where we want to be. And maybe have some ideas about tomorrow as well. So the latest trend is obviously the mobile. Okay, everything is mobile these days. It is. Some people believe that you will not have desktop computers anymore. Everybody will have at least a laptop. Yeah. if you look at this forecast, I mean, you have some data and some forecast about the sales of tablets. You can see that at the moment, 2014, there's still a bit more PCs sold than tablets. And next year, the trend is going to change. Okay? Tablets are going to carry on growing. And interestingly, PCs are going to be stable. You know, they are not going to drop. They are going to stay stable. So that's an interesting trend. Okay? If you are developing an application today, are you going to develop it for a laptop, a desktop PC, or a tablet? Okay? If you want to make a lot of money, what market are you going to target?
Both.
Maybe both. But you know, there are different things as well. You know, a desktop PC, you are using a keyboard. A tablet, you are doing a touch screen. You cannot do the same things. Okay? Look at Windows 8. Yeah? Windows 8, it's terrible. A disaster. You know, they have tried to do both. I mean, they have done exactly what you suggested. Let's have an operating system that can use on my PC, on my tablet, on my phone. It's not working. Disaster. They don't even move to Windows 9. Just forget about it. Windows 10 has been released. Yeah? So maybe you cannot do both. You have to choose. And you have to choose at the right market. Okay? Obviously, people using tablets are not the same people from the people using a desktop PC. Okay, so it's not just the device we will impact on your market. But you can see that there are many parameters. There is nothing so simple in this modern IT world. And when I speak about IT world, you know, I'm really meaning the world. Okay? Because when you are using the internet, you are not going to say, yeah, I'm just surfing the British sites. Yeah? Nobody would do that, except if you have some kind of dictatorship where you're only allowed to use a few sites. You know, we are free, and we are not looking at .uk sites. We go everywhere. Yeah? So when you are thinking about IT markets, IT application, you should think about the world. So the UK is a very interesting place. Okay. However, it's a very small country. Okay, on the map, it is little red dots. Okay, that's where we are, so we like it. But the impact on the world is getting smaller and smaller. Population 64 millions, less than 1% of the world population. You know, we are not the one who are going to dictate the future trends. It's unlikely. So you really need to look at outside. So what is the largest country in the world?
Russia.
Mother Russia.
In terms of population?
China.
China. Excellent. Which country will be the largest one in 2025?
India.
India. Okay. And that will be 20% of the world population. Okay. So if you are interested in tomorrow's world, what will happen? Maybe it's a good idea to have your radar on India as well. Okay, because maybe there are interesting things happening there. Okay. So let's look at some data, just to make you think a little bit. So in India, there is a census, as there is in the UK. And among data about population, they ask you questions. You know, does your household has a TV set? Or do you have a telephone? Okay. And so you can see the data in 2001 and the data in 2011. And you can see that clearly India is becoming more and more technical. People are getting more TVs and more telephones. Okay. However, what is interesting is that while the number of telephones was really low, okay, below 10% in 2001, it has increased dramatically to more than 60%, whereas the number of TV sets is not increasing so rapidly. Why not?
Because the TV is dying.
Excuse me?
TV is dying. The internet is going to be the next thing.
Yeah, because, you know, the average Indian family is not very rich, okay? And they are thinking, shall I buy a TV and then a telephone, or maybe shall I buy just a smartphone? And it will do both, okay? So obviously in the UK we are nearly 100% on both. However, if we look at the data for 2014, we can see that now India has 75% of mobile phone per individual. So the boom has been dramatic. We were at 60% per household, now it's 75 per individual, okay? And most of them are smartphones. Same thing in the UK. In 2001, we had less than 50% having a mobile phone. Now, everybody has more than one mobile phone. Okay? Everybody has 1.2 mobile phones. Yeah? You must have one in your drawers. Yeah? Doing nothing. Broken. So, you know, that's a real change. Okay? And in India, it's very strong. You can see that they don't bother about TVs anymore. Why would they buy a TV? You know, let's get a mobile phone, a smartphone, but I can watch TV. So there is one country where everybody has more than 2 mobile phones. Which country?
America?
No. I know that one of the students
South Korea.
is from that country.
South Korea.
No.
Russia.
I mean, Eastern Asia is a good place.
The Philippines?
Hong Kong. Okay, so they are the world leaders. Everybody has more than 2 mobile phones. Okay, which is interesting as well because, you know, when you thought about it, you said America. Wrong. You know, the time where America, Western Europe were the rich, the technology, that's over. Eastern Asia is a place. Okay, that's tomorrow's world. Okay, so already your mind need to move to tomorrow's world, which is already today's world. And interestingly, so that's the trend in India. A few years ago, there was a census in America, and they said, actually this year there are fewer TVs than last year. So in America, already they are following that trend. Don't bother about the TV. Let's directly go to either the nice laptop with a nice screen where you can see your TV, or directly to the smartphone. Okay? So it's a world trend. So, you know, if you had to invest, maybe you don't want to invest into TVs, okay? Or, you know, they are trying to change TVs now. You can connect your computer using the big TV screen, but TVs are not going to be anymore what they used to be. There's something going on here. Another thing is, when you had a desktop computer, you know, or you have desktop computers at the library, you know, you are sharing it. Okay, you have a desktop computer in a family, everybody is using it. Okay, everybody having a different login. Now that you have a mobile phone, it's getting personal. Do you share your mobile phone? Are you happy for someone using your mobile phone? You know, you feel a bit, you know, your intimity somehow is, you know. So the world is changing. Your relationship with these electronic devices is completely different. So mobile phones are very personal things. you know, the smartphones. So basically, you can use them for very personal applications that maybe you wouldn't have thought of when you are using a PC that everybody can log in and maybe see a bit what you have been doing before. Okay. So, in particular, in the world of health app, it's getting really big. Okay. I'm saying that mobile phones are getting very personal, that it's your own data and you don't want to share with anybody. But you all have heard about online privacy issues. Okay.
Oh.
You all know that some spies are listening to all your emails, watching everything you are looking at. Okay. You know that some people will be breaking into your cloud when you are keeping your photos. Okay. So initially, you know, the spies are just interested in important people. Okay. So the spies, they don't really care about you. Yeah. But now, with this celebrity photo leak story, they are looking at people who are less important. Okay. And you could assume that one day they will try to. Some of you, you know, the clever, nasty one, will try to get what is on the mobile phone of one of your friends. Okay? So, be aware of that, okay? Mobile phone, you feel it's very personal, all the stuff is in the device. Actually, in many cases, it's not there, it's on the cloud. Okay? So, you are sharing somehow. Still, we are assuming we are in a good world and our mobile phone has our own data. And now the big trend is really health-related apps. Okay? So you have hundreds of apps you can download. You have diabetes, you can download mysugar.com. Okay? It will monitor your sugar level. It will tell you that before having that type of food, before eating it, what will happen? How is your calorie intake going to change? Are you going to be lack of sugar, too much sugar? They are trying to take care of your health. Another app, Fitbit. Have you heard of Fitbit? So you can buy a little device that you are going to wear, and it's going to count how many steps you are doing every day. So they are able to tell you how much exercise you are doing, how many calories you are burning. They can predict that if you carry on this way, you will have lost 1 stone by the end of by Christmas. Yeah.
There already are some apps for that that you can install on your phone.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know.
Well, yes, but you mentioned that you have to buy a device.
Yeah, here you have a small device.
The apps I'm talking about use the accelerometer, so.
Yeah, you can. It depends what. I mean, these ones. They are doing all this activity tracking stuff, but they are also analyzing your sleep. Okay? And the accelerometer will not do much in that case. Okay? Except if you are really agitated. Okay? So, and I'm not saying it's the best one, but I'm saying that's a new trend. Okay? You have all these health-related apps around, and they are going to stay. Okay? And it's not the thing that some health-conscious people will download them and hopefully take advantage of them. That's the nice bit. The other thing is maybe other people will say, okay, you know, NHS, there are big waiting lists, it's costing a lot of money. If you are one of the patients using all these apps, doing all your walking, you're running every week, you are going to go to the front of the waiting list. You know, you are the good guy. You are not costing us that much, so we are going to treat you very well. On the other hand, if you are the guy spending the day in front of the television, the GP said, yeah, start doing a bit of sport and then you come to see me. Okay? So that's an opportunity, that's maybe a risk. You can be sure that insurance company will be using that very soon. Okay? They're already checking what is your profile, what are the medical antecedents in your family, you know, in order to calculate your premium. If you manage to convince them by providing those data that you are very athletic, you are doing your jogging every day, you say, okay, good guy, lower premium. Okay, so that's the society we are getting to. So you need to be aware of that and hopefully take the opportunity. So we are looking, I think, at a change of society. Okay, it's a prediction. I am thinking about the world of tomorrow. But here are some indices saying that things are changing. So maybe for your final year project, a health-related app could be a good idea. You know, a good project, and maybe you can sell it because there is a market for it. Or maybe in 3 years' time it will be too late. All the possible health-related apps will have been developed. End of the story. Social medias. Okay? So for most people, social medias equal Twitter, Facebook. Okay? So it's a piece of fun. Okay? It's not really professional stuff. However, there is something big happening around social media, is that they are messing everything up for many businesses. Okay? Businesses which are at the top of their game are getting really worried about social medias. Okay? So they are very advanced. They are about thinking about the future, which is great, and they know that social media is changing everything, and they cannot operate as they used to. You know, they spend millions, billions, if you take a company such as Coca-Cola, in order to create a brand. You know, it's cool, it's Santa, it's the young people, fun and stuff. They are creating that brand, okay? And so you have experts which are designing adverts, who are designing the packaging and everything. So millions of pounds, hundreds of millions for Coca-Cola are spent on that, okay? And that's an investment which lasts for decades. You know, you invest today so that in 10 years' time you still have a feel about what Coca-Cola would be look like, okay? So let's look at a brand, Yves Saint Laurent, yeah? I've heard about it. Yeah. So let's look at Yves Saint Laurent's website for the one who haven't. The Yves Saint Laurent in their bookmarks. So you know, it's a very well-crafted website. You know, it's not just the average website. The way it's designed is very special. You can see that money has been into that website to make it different, to make it luxury. Okay? It's not Primark. Yeah? You can see it's not Primark. Yeah? You don't need to see the Yves Saint Laurent logo for knowing that there is something different. Okay? The way it's presented, you know, it's very very
Tidy.
Yeah, it's very tidy, it's very clean, you know, it's
Very simple.
very simple, you know. You can see that there are designers, there are artists behind the look of Yves Saint Laurent, okay? So that's the official website. I'm sure you will love it so much that it's going to be on your bookmark soon. But this one is even better. Okay. So that's the Yves Saint Laurent website. And for maybe a century, people are working on Yves Saint Laurent, top quality, French, luxury, and so on. Good taste. Yeah? And now you have fans who are using Pinterest. You know about Pinterest? Yeah? So that's a form of social media where you select the stuff you like and it brings everything on the page. Okay? So now we have the fan page for Yves Saint Laurent, but on Pinterest. What kind of field do you think you will have? Here it is. Okay. I mean, you know, it has been done quite well. Okay, they are not trying to be negative towards Yves Saint Laurent. It's clearly fans. Okay, they like the product, but the way they are presenting them, you know, it's a very different field from what we have seen before. Okay, and that what we are looking here is maybe a bit more Primark-ish than what we have seen before. Okay, so now when you are looking at that, maybe the idea about luxury, you know, things is a bit different. Moreover, what else do we have? Very quickly, you know, by a click, you know, you can move outside Yves Saint Laurent and see something else. Okay? And if you go on the previous page, you will find links to other competitors. You know, if you like luxury goods, you like Yves Saint Laurent, but you must like Dior and the others. Okay? So while in the past you were inside this unique Yves Saint Laurent world, now you are in something which is less unique, and you can get out of this world very quickly just by a click. Okay? So when you are looking into Google for Yves Saint Laurent, both will appear. Okay? And maybe you will prefer that one. So they are spending all these millions of pounds trying to craft this very aesthetically pleasing brand of luxury, but actually people are going for that, okay? Because somehow this guy, you know, maybe he's not trying to sell you a product, you know, he's a fan, he likes it, and he will tell you what it is. He's not going to tell you all the story behind the brand of Yves Saint Laurent, which means that Yves Saint Laurent is really scared now, okay? They have spent all those millions, they have all those creative people, artists who have worked on the brand. And everywhere on the web now, you have sites like these ones, which are signs of real fans. Okay, they are not trying to say Yves Saint Laurent is crap. You know, they like it and they show you the product, but they show them in a very different manner. Okay, so for the retail industry, it's very scary. They are losing control. Okay, how can they get control back? Okay, what is the solution? Have they lost? You know, and just forget about it and just make clothes and don't do websites anymore? Or should they create their own social network so they have a bit more control? Okay, people are thinking about that at the moment. Okay, some IT experts are working on this specific problem at the moment. I know one, a colleague. Okay, contacted by Yves Saint Laurent. What shall I do? You know, we are losing control. And we don't like it. Social medias, still. Do you know this website? Yeah. Airbnb? Mm-hmm. So basically, you are going away for the weekend. It's going to cost you a bit of money. Okay, you are going to in a B&B in Brighton. So you would like to get a bit of money back. Yeah, you can rent your flat for the weekend. No agency, no contact, you are getting a bit of money back. So it pays maybe for your holidays in Brighton. Okay. So that's changing really a lot all the world of hostelry. Okay. So again, it's a new business model which is getting there. Okay. And it's growing, and the whole world of hostelry is wondering what's going to happen. You know, if the agency are not providing any service anymore, they are going to close. Yeah? TaskRabbit. Anybody knows TaskRabbit? No? So, TaskRabbit is basically you have a small job to do, and you don't want to do it yourself, okay? You have just been to IKEA, you have just bought a kit for a desktop, and you don't want to bother putting it up, okay? Or you don't have the tools. You put it on TaskRabbit, and someone say, yeah, I do it for 20 quid. Interesting? Possibly? I have a colleague, he's an academic as well, and his job is to interview people, okay? So he's going with a recorder, people are interviewed, and in the past, he had to transfer everything on text, okay? So you can see that it's a task which is a bit boring, okay, not very exciting. Now he put it on TaskRabbit, you know, I have 1 hour of recording. Does anybody is interested in doing it for 20 quid? Yeah, many people are happy to do it for 20 quid. Especially that in some countries, 20 quid is a lot of money. Okay. So the world is changing completely, you know. Why should I bother typing my stuff or using some software which is going to listen to me but make mistakes? No, I just send it, TaskRabbit, and someone is going to type it nicely just for me. Okay? And it's not costing you so much money. And anybody has some spare time, and some people like it, you know. So again, it's changing the world, it's changing the economy, it's changing the way we work. Okay? So the big message is social media are big, but not because of Facebook. Okay? Because of all these new ways of doing business, exchanging data, and challenging the current market we have at the moment. So these things are really important, those trends. Okay, you need to be aware of that social media is going to be big. So if it's something you are interested in, jump on it. You know, each time you have to do some kind of project, go for social media and try to understand how you can make money out of it. Or do you have a new idea? Okay. Facebook has been the big things for the last 10 years. Hello is giving it a try to do something else. Okay. Big data, that's another thing. Do you know the journal Nature? Yeah? What is Nature? It's the #1 journal, international journal in the world for any scientific discovery. Okay? That's the dream publication for any academic. Okay? Not as good as the Nobel Prize, but not very far. You know. I get a paper in Nature, I'm celebrating all night. And recently there was this paper about detecting influenza epidemics, okay, the flu. And so detecting the flu, you think, okay, that's a job for medics, yeah, for biologists. But then you look at the title and they are using search engines. Okay, how do you detect the flu with search engine? Okay, but you know they got it published in Nature, so it must be something revolutionary. Top science. When you look at the details, here are the authors. Okay, Google are the people behind that. Okay, Google are the people who are detecting flu. But they are just a bunch of IT people. Okay, if you look at the list of authors, you have 5 people from Google and 1 lady from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Okay, so there is someone who knows about flu, and all the others are just computer geeks. Yeah, but still, it went to Nature because what they are doing, it's revolutionary and changing the way we are dealing with flu. Okay. So how do they do that? Any idea?
How much people search for it?
Yeah. So they are using something which could called a flu trend. So just for people who are not really aware of how flu works and the impact of flu on the world, so it's a seasonal epidemics. Yeah, it's during the winter. So in December in the northern hemisphere, in July in the southern hemisphere. It touched between 3 and 5 million people. Okay, flu is big business. Yeah, many people are touched by flu, and it's killing between 1/4 and 500,000 people. Yeah. So at the moment we are speaking about Ebola killing a few thousand people. Flu is going to kill 500,000 this winter. Okay. So you can see how important it is. And just to remind you, in 1918 there was something called the Spanish flu, which killed in 1 year between 50 and 100 million. Okay, 50 and 100 million people. So when people are scared about bird flu, you understand why. Because those numbers are big. And at the time, it killed between 3 and 5% of the world population. Okay. What is the world population today?
7 billion.
7 billion. 5% of that?
350 million.
350 million.
I think.
Yeah? So, if we had an epidemic of the size of Spanish flu, 350 million people will die in the following year. That's big, really big. Okay? So now you understand why predicting flu is a very important matter. So you can go on Google flu trend, and they are showing you the situation live about the flu at the moment. Okay? So they can tell you that in Russia it's not very good, and in Western Europe it's okay. You know, you are in the minimal zone or the low zone. Okay? It's getting cold a little bit in Northern Europe, so flu is starting to come. So first of all, this map should help you to understand where the data are from. Okay, they are coming from Google search. Okay, so only countries which are using Google search can be on the map. Okay, so that's why many places, usually the least developed country, are not there. Okay, and so what happens when you have the flu? The first thing you do, you are going to Google it. You know, I have a headache. I have a sore throat. What can I have? You know, everybody is doing that. No? Are you doing that? You are not feeling well. You are Googling it to be reassured or have some idea. Yeah. And after a while, you know, they say, okay, you have a headache. Just take some aspirin. Okay, or paracetamol. And a couple of days later, you are still not well. So finally, you are going to call your GP. Okay? But Google knew 2 days before that you had the symptom of flu. Okay? And your GP is going to see 1 person with the flu, 2 persons with the flu. That's okay. And after a while, there's an epidemic of people with the flu, and they are going to contact the regional center, which are going to collect data, pass it to the British government, and yeah, we have a crisis. But all that is delayed. Okay? Google, possibly a couple of weeks before the crisis, can already see what's going on, and can get and so that the country can get ready. Okay? The epidemic is going to get there. We need to get the vaccine in. Okay? Or we need to make sure that all the GPs are working this weekend, because that's going to be massive. Okay? Where's the data? Here you have the curve for the flu in the last few years. Okay, so this year was a very bad year. 2008, not much. This year, the flu arrived a bit early, October instead of December. Okay? But already here, in principle, Google people knew that it was coming, and nobody was ready. Okay? So maybe you know it's coming, so you can get ready and hopefully be prepared. 2011, not much flu. 12, hardly anything. 12, 13, big stuff. Okay, really big. 13, 14, standard. And today we are here. Okay, so you can see it's slightly growing. You can see that the winter is coming, but we have no idea yet when it's going to peak. Okay, is it going to be December, January, as usual? October, it's unlikely. Yeah. So you can see that using big data, so imagine the millions and possibly billions of requests that Google is receiving every day, they can do some really good science. Okay? So they do that for flu, they do that for the dengue virus as well. Okay? So at the moment, it's not very good in Venezuela. Okay? So if you want to go on holiday in that part of the world, maybe you can choose another country. So you can see that's really interesting. You have all those data around, and you need IT specialists to collect them and to make sense out of it and possibly make a better world. Yeah? Obviously, that's for health purposes, but people are doing the same for marketing. Yeah? They want to know what you are going to buy this Christmas, so that they make sure that the shops are full. Okay? And to make sure that you have the price at the right amount. If you know that everybody is going to buy this product, bring it up. Okay? Is that going to buy more than you can produce? Bring the price as high as you can. Okay? So marketing people are using that all the time nowadays. Okay? That's one way Google is making money. Real-time data as well. Okay? Because at the moment we are collecting data, we are spending time trying to analyze them and get some idea about trends. So you have control centers, and big organizations will have these control centers with many monitors. So you could imagine something like Asda in Roland Vale having cameras everywhere in the shop to have some idea about what's going on, you know, which products people are going to, and how do they buy products? You know, do they go for milk first, then cereals, or they do in a completely unrelated manner, they just have a list and follow aisles after aisles? So you can imagine for those people, those data are essential. Okay? So if you have a big supermarket, you put some cameras in every aisle, you pay some guys to look at what's happening, you can get some trends, and you can change the placement of your products and so on. Nowadays, most of the purchases are getting online, especially for the younger generation. Can you have a control center for online shops? You want to know how your customers are going to your website. How are they browsing? How do they get to your product? Are they just going through all the pages and buy the product, or are they looking in the search box the product they want? Okay? That's a big question, and that's the way they can develop better website in order to make sure that you will spend more money. Okay? So nowadays, companies are using real-time data to have an understanding about what people are doing. Okay? The 3D printer, a new revolution. The 3D printer nowadays costs you less than 1,000 pounds. Okay? If you really want one, you buy one. Okay? 1,000 pounds is not that much. You work hard during the summer, you get your 3D printer if you want it. How is it changing the world? Hardly anything, just affecting international trade. How does it work these days? Here is the trade in the world, okay? So a lot of products are produced in India, in China. They are getting the raw products, for example, from South America or from Africa. They need a bit of oil from the Middle East. In the factories, they are building the products, which are generally quite basic products. Okay, you don't need high technology. China is very famous for the toys, for example, plastic toys. Okay, so they make these products, and then they ship that to the US and to Europe. Okay, that's, in summary, what could be international trade. So now that you have a printer, why are you going to ask some Chinese factory to make the product for you? You just download the program and you print it. Okay. If you want an action figure, you just print it. Why are you going to put an order, possibly with Amazon, wait for someone, for them to post it, wait for collecting the product, going to the post office, or making sure you're at home, okay? And you are not getting the product right now. By using that, many products, you just make them yourself, okay? In principle, it should save you money, yeah? And time. Do you believe in this scenario? Yeah? Is it possible? I mean, I'm doing science fiction at the moment. You know, I'm speaking about trends. How will the future be? You know, we don't know. It's a possibility. We believe that with this new printer, everything is going to change. Okay. It happens that something very similar has happened a few years ago. CDs. Do you still buy CDs?
Yeah.
A lot?
No.
No. Most of your music is electronic. You download it. Okay? Why do you want to bother going to a shop? Yeah, you need to go to the shop, buy something which is going to be more expensive than something you can download. Okay? So maybe you have a favorite band and they have a very nice cover and you want to buy the CD. But most of the time, you can get it from iTunes. Yeah? And it's very cheap. So what happens? Here is a shop, HMV, you have heard about it? Yeah? What were they doing? Selling CDs. So here we have the world's biggest music store, which was on Oxford Street. It's closed this year. People are not that interested anymore in buying CDs. Okay? You can get it on your computer. You want it, you pay, you download it. Why is it going to be different with plastic objects? You want it, you pay it, you print it. You have it now. So think about it. That's going to change the way of doing markets, possibly in the world. Okay? Because I know that many people, you know, they create some websites. They are buying some cheap products from China, and they are selling them. Okay, that's been a way of making money on the internet. Many people have done that, and many people have made a bit of money using that. Now, if you are going to do that with action figures, you need to think, are people going to buy my stock, or are they just going to print it? You know? And as I say, the world is changing. So maybe the next app will be how to create the action figure which can be printed. Okay? E-commerce, big thing. Do you know that company?
Yeah.
Okado? Yeah? What do they do? Yeah. So it's the largest and arguably the best online supermarket. there's been since 2010, according to some poll in the UK. So, you know, it's online, so they must have a website. Yeah? Everything is working through a website. How much money do you think they have spent on their website?
A lot.
Okay, so we are going to vote. 10,000. 100,000. 100,000, yeah. 1 million. 1 million. 10 millions. 10 millions. 100 millions.
Sorry.
And some people haven't participated. Okay? So it looks that most people believe that they spend between 100,000 and 1 million on the website, which is a lot of money. I mean, 1 million, okay? That would make a team of 10 people working very hard for a few years, yeah? So the real figure is 300 million. So there is money in e-commerce, okay? If you are looking for a job, that's maybe a good company to go to, you know. They need to have a perfect website, you know. They cannot afford anything else. Their business is their website. So they have money for people who are going to design e-commerce websites, who are going to improve e-commerce websites. But also something really interesting is, obviously on the website they want to make your life as easy as possible, okay? And you are going to buy your main product, and they are going to memorize that, okay? They know that every week you are buying a pack of crepes and so on. So when you go back to the Okado website, they say, are you going to buy the usual? You don't need to browse anymore through anything. You say, yeah, the usual, usual. So how can a company advertise for products anymore? You are not going to see these adverts anymore. You don't even see the packages of the product. Yeah, the usual. You know, I'm very happy. I'm buying that every week. I'm happy. So for advertising companies, it's just a nightmare. You know, how can they bring a new product on the market? You have been on Okado for a long time. You're always buying the same stuff. Okay? And the worst thing, you are buying the same stuff, and when the Okado tells you, yeah, you are buying these biscuits from that brand, actually if you buy the Waitrose brand, you know, they taste the same, and it's £1 cheaper. Okado does that.
And it also imports your favorites from other supermarkets.
Okay, yeah. So you know, so people are developing all those brands. They are telling you that their products are better. Now, using this website, you don't see the products anymore. Okay, you don't see the brands. You were buying a product at a given price, and they are telling you, actually, there is something very similar, half the price. You should try it. Okay, I mean, it's a nightmare for advertising, for brands. You know, it's horrible. So it's changing again everything on the marketing world. Okay, we have already seen that before with another example, and here again. Okay, how to make your presence visible. Okay. Okay, so I've given you a few examples about today's world and maybe what's going to happen tomorrow. So again, I want you to be very active. Okay, it's not just 2 hours of lecture every week. Each time you are using your computer, think about these things. Okay, how does it work? I mean, the lecture is not finished. There's still half an hour. So, you know, I want you to be very active. Discover the new stuff. Tell me about the new stuff. Okay? Why an old guy like myself tell you about Hello? I mean, that's ridiculous. You are the computer generation. Okay? You should know about it. You should contact me and say, JC, there's something great happening. Have a look. Yeah? I shouldn't tell you anything. You should know. So, you need to question yourself. Each time you are using something, think about it. How is it changing the habits? What technology could be behind it? Okay? And also, can I use it? Okay, so in this module, we are going to think a lot. I will open your mind to many things, but we'll be having a look at specific subject as well. So we will be looking at client servers and where things happen online. What about reputation? What is reputation? Do you have a reputation? What does it mean? If you have 1,000 friends on Facebook, does it change what you can do compared to a person who has 10 friends?
Yes.
Possibly. Okay? If you want to organize something, if you want to organize a demonstration in the street for whatever topic, if you have 1,000 friends, you have some influence. You can start doing things. Okay? So having a reputation, so something positive, and an influence are getting really important, you know, for this world at the obviously economic level, but also at the society level. Yeah. Something which is really hard, and we have seen it just before, estimate how long something will take. How long will you need to develop this website? Or the equivalent question is, how much is it going to cost? Okay? How much does the Okado website cost? Nobody knew it was 300 million. Yeah? And many people were so far off, it was just ridiculous. Okay? You are the IT professional. Someone is going to see you and say, I want you to do that for me. How are you going to price it? Okay? And it's not just in 3 years' time. Maybe you will do a little job next summer. You know, do some website for someone. How are you going to price it? And if it costs you 300 millions and you price it for 100,000, there's a big problem. Yeah? Also, you should realize that we don't want to reinvent the wheel. Okay? Most technical problems you will have, it's likely that the cohort of last year had the same problems, and that thousands of people have had the same problems in the world. So the solution will be there on the internet somewhere. Okay? So you should be able to find it and use it, take advantage of it. Also, we are obviously looking at programming, but programming is not just writing some codes isolated from the rest of the world. It's about using libraries, using frameworks. Again, you don't want to reinvent the wheel. Okay? Sometimes we want you to demonstrate that you can build a wheel. Okay? But when you are on a timely project with a limited budget, you cannot reinvent everything. Obviously, as you have understood, I want you to have a global view of IT developments. Okay? So, not just the UK, not just the US, but the entire world. Do you know how Google think and make money? You have heard of Google. You may have used it a few times today. Yeah? What is behind Google? Is that an interesting topic? You know, imagine you go back home and your mom, your little sister tells you, "Hey, you are studying IT. What is behind Google?" Can you answer that very simple question? So, and the main thing is how to find this information. Okay? Everything is on the net. You know, if you ask the right question, you will find it. And also, we want you to build things. Okay? We don't just want you to read and to know about techniques. We want you to build things. You know, by Christmas, all of you will have a website. Who has already a website? Okay, so a few people, maybe 10, but by Christmas I want 200 websites. Yeah? So I want you to make things. I mean, how can you become an IT professional if you don't have a website? You know, does it make sense? Yeah, I have a Facebook account. Yeah. My mom has a Facebook account. She's not an IT professional. Also, you need to think and behave like a startup. You know, have some ideas about what kind of business you could start. Okay, where are the opportunities in the world? You know, how could I start this project? Some of you will create a startup at the end of their studies, or maybe before. Some of you will never do it, but it should be in your mind. Okay, you should see the opportunities. Maybe you are not going to exploit them fully, but you should be aware of them. So we will, during this course, we will help you to design and build a mobile app. You will know about client-server technology. You will build a website. You will have a blog. You will start building your reputation. You will construct what is called mashups. You should be able to have a feel about the trends. Okay? And also you should be able not to be on your own anymore, but when you have a problem, a question, a curiosity, you should be able to find the solution. Okay? And people can help you. Obviously, you can use forums, you can do your friends, and you can find a solution about technology, you can find some code, you can find anything. Okay? And that's what you should be able to gain. Okay, so that was a brief introduction about the module. I hope that now you have some idea about the philosophy, which is behind IT Toolbox. So you can see it's quite a different module from the others. Most people love it. A few hate it. Okay. But eventually I want everybody to pass. Okay, and hopefully to get a good mark. So let's look in practice, how is it going to work? So there's a lecture every Thursday between 4 and 6, okay? In this room, there is another overflow room with video link, only if this room is not full, okay? And all the lectures will be on YouTube, except if there is a technical problem. So today we had a bit of an issue for the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But now
it's uploaded, it's streamed, and everything.
It's streamed on YouTube, so you can watch it live, or you can watch it as soon as you're back home.
How do you find it?
Yeah, sorry.
How do you find it?
So there is a lecture which
Yeah, if you
guys.
search for IT Toolbox, it's actually getting, yeah. And you just choose the...
I will put the link for the YouTube lecture, I guess tomorrow morning. Okay? You can survive without watching it this evening, I think. Okay? So every week there is a lecture. So you are going to tell me what about the workshop? Guys, you know, the really important stuff is now. Okay? It's about your marks, if you are going to pass or not. Okay? How does it work? Okay? So you don't have a workshop. Okay? You are going to see me or my colleagues 2 hours a week, that's it. Okay? However, you are going to have what is called an activity every week. And I'm going to present you the activity during the lecture, and the deadline for completing the activity will be the following Wednesday. Okay? So you have 1 week. Sounds good? When I will ask you to build an app from scratch, you will have 1 week. You will build an app in 1 week. Okay? That's what we are going to do in here. You have no clue how to do it. We are going to give you the tools. We give you the tools how to start it, and then you do it. Okay? The submissions are obviously electronic, and they will be marked. Okay? Activity counts as for your final mark. Okay? So it's not optional.
So about finding it in YouTube, you can search for i2 Toolbox and then the date as 02/10/2014, which is today, and it will give you the live event, and after the live event is finished, it will actually give you the video. If you want to watch it again and again.
I will post it as well, but you know how to do it. Thank you, Matthew. So what is an activity? So first, an activity should be seen as an opportunity. Okay? So investigating what is happening behind the scene. Okay? Or maybe to build something. And also the opportunity to make mistakes. Okay? If you want to become a good IT professional, you need to make mistakes. You need to write a program, and you want the things to not to compile. You want the things to crash. That's the way you learn. Okay? And it's also an opportunity to interact. Okay? I'm going to give you tasks which look impossible. Yeah? Building an app in 1 week, that sounds hard. Yeah? But it's possible. They did it last year.
If you make it ugly and unprofessional, it's possible in 1 week.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be pretty. Yeah? It's about the process. So in order to do that, you cannot do it on your own. Okay? You have friends, you have colleagues, IT professionals, many of them are on forums, very happy to help. We're going to help you to solve those problems. Okay? So you will need a network in general to complete these activities. And an activity should take around 2 hours. Okay? If you didn't spend 2 hours, it means that it's likely you have missed something and you will fail the activity. If you spend 2 hours, yeah, it looks good. Some people will spend a day on it. Okay? They will love it. They will know everything about it. Okay? They think that their future job will be about the theme about this activity. Yeah? I mean, also the aim of IT Toolbox is to find where your IT passion is. You know? Where is it? Is it designing stuff? Is it building stuff? Is it making apps, website? You will find out. Some activities you will not like. You will spend the 2 hours summit and just forget about it. Others you will be happy to spend the whole weekend on it. Okay? Okay, so an activity is also an assessment. So each activity is worth 4% of your final mark. Okay? 4%. We have 20 activities, so that will give you 80% of your final mark. So in principle, if you complete 10 activities successfully, you have passed the module. Yeah? You have 1 activity every week. Have I said that? So it means that by Christmas, you may have passed the module, if you work hard enough. Yeah? Marking. It's very simple. Either I give you a pass, or I give you a fail. Okay? We are not going to split 4%. Yeah? It's not much. So either it's 0 or it's 4. Okay? So either you did it well. Well doesn't mean you did everything perfect. Okay? You may make mistakes, but what I want to be sure is that you got it. You know, you understood what is behind the concept or the building we are doing. Okay? You have spent the right amount of time. You have done the thinking, or you have done the building in order to complete the activity. Okay? So maybe there is something which will be completely wrong, but globally, I will be happy with your task. Okay? There are always errors. Yeah? Which programmer has produced a program which is bug-free? Doesn't exist. Yeah? Bug-free programs do not exist. There are always errors. So you are going to make errors in your activities. I know it. That's all right. You must make errors. If you don't make errors, it means that you don't try. Yeah? So I'm going to view your submissions. If I feel that you have spent the right amount of time, you got the main concepts right, you get the 4%. Otherwise, you got 0. Yeah? So there is a timeline. Okay? Let's go into the details. The activity is set during the Thursday lecture. So I'm going to set one today. I still have 10 minutes for doing it. The deadline is Wednesday at 11:59. So at midnight you are submitting your activities. We have the lecture back at 4 p.m. And my mission, if I accept it, is to mark them all. Okay? So before the lecture, in principle, I should have marked all your activities. Okay? I'm not the only one marking. I have some electronic devices helping me. Okay? So in principle, when we have the lecture, I will have marked your activities. So you will get, that will be marked. If it's not good, okay, I will send you an email saying, I'm sorry, I don't think you have reached the required level to pass this activity. Yeah?
Can you do it again?
And I will give you an opportunity to submit again. Okay? Without any penalty. Okay? And during the class, I'm going to give you some feedback. Okay? I'm going to tell you what went well, what didn't went well. And I'm going to tell you, yeah, here is a mistake that people are doing. So you can build on this feedback in order to resubmit your failed activity and have a successful one. Okay? And obviously, during the lecture, we'll set a new activity. Yeah? Every week, we will get a new activity. So there is a first deadline, which is after 1 week. There is a final deadline, which is after 1 month. Okay? The first deadline is the one for getting feedback and getting the opportunity to submit again, if it's not good enough. You can ignore that deadline and just submit 1 month after I've submitted, after I've set the activity. That's okay. You are not going to be penalized. Okay? But remember, each week a new activity is coming. So you can accumulate for a month, and that is going to become crazy. Yeah? And you are not going to take advantage of the feedback. And each activity is connected to the lecture you will have had. Okay? So it means that doing it after the lecture is the best time for doing it. But still, you have 1 month, if you wish. So, and obviously I will not give you any extension whatsoever. Okay? You have 1 month for doing a 2-hour job. Yeah? So don't be ridiculous if you cannot find 2 hours, you know. Obviously, if you have medical circumstances and so on, that's different. Okay? But being busy, other exams, that doesn't count. Yeah? So today we are the 2nd of October. The deadline for, the first deadline for the activity is the 8th. On the 9th, you will get your mark. I will have marked them. If you receive an email, means it's not good enough, and try to do it again. If you don't receive an email, and you submitted your activity, it means that you have passed. Okay? And you will get your 4%. You don't need to ask me. If you don't receive anything from me, it means I'm happy. Okay? So that's on the 9th. And the final deadline, either to submit again or submit for the first time, if you are taking a lot of time, will be the 30th of December. Yeah? All the slides will be on Blackboard, obviously. Assignments. So I've said that I have 20 activities. That's going to be 80% of your final mark. And I will ask you to build a complete website. And according to its complexity, I will give you a mark. Okay? So that mark will be for 20%. And in this case, I will use the whole range. Yeah? During the activities, we will start building a website. Okay? So if you are following the activities well, doing each activity, the website build, you will have done already at least half of it. Okay? Yeah?
Say I already have my website. Can I just show you that one, or do I have to make like another one?
If it meets the requirements, you will see the requirements.
Okay.
So the deadline for this website build is on the 2nd of April. Okay? So you have plenty of time. We will speak about it again, so you can forget about this one. Okay? Just make sure that when there are activities involving websites, do these ones with a priority, because there will be the website at the end. Okay, so we have 20 activities. They are organized around 4 different themes. Okay. So there is what is called IT fundamentals. Okay, so that's really what any IT person really needs to know. Okay, some very basic concepts: servers, computer architecture, operating system, file format, networking. Okay, so that's some basic stuff, and that is going to stay basic for the next 10 years. Okay, every IT professional needs to know about it. Then there is web prototyping. So again, we have a set of 5 activities which will help you to build a website. Okay. Then we have web of data of opportunities. So that's what I've discussed a bit more today, all about those trends, these social media, e-commerce, big data, all that stuff. Okay, that's part of this theme. And then we will have a specific theme about making things. Okay, so that's where you are going to make video games. You are going to make apps. You are going to do things. Okay. Today, the first activity will be about search and research tools. Okay. Activity 1. We are going to explore Google. The good news, you have all used Google before, so it's not completely new. Okay. But I want to know what is behind Google. Okay. Typing a word and pressing search is not good enough. So you need to read the activity and then start researching the answers. And then when you have the answers, you are going to fill in an electronic form and submit it. And that's what I will be marking. Okay? So let's go there. So here we have study space. If I pick IT Toolbox, I'm going to, is that IT Toolbox? Strange. Yeah. Information, and you have something which is called Activity 1. So now we can click on it. And here is your Activity 1. Okay? So, more information about how activities work and how it's going to be marked and all those things. And then you have a set of tasks which will make you think about Google, how it works, what is the technology behind it, how they are making money, how to make Google better, all those concepts. Okay? When you have studied Google using those tasks, then you click on the following link, and you are going to this page. You are writing your name, your ID number, email address, and you are filling in the boxes. When you have finished, you plus submit, end of the story. And that's what I am going to mark. Okay? When you press submit, the proof that you have submitted it at a given time. Okay? So if there is a problem in the system, you can say, JC, I've done it, here it is. Okay? Any questions?
What about my character limits?
I cannot hear you.
Who's gonna tank?
From the bottom.